Everybody, Tim here with today's episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Season 4, Episode 6, Starship Down. So, you know what, I want to be honest with you, I did not like this episode. For whatever reason, it didn't gel with me. I wasn't that interested in it. It's an interesting concept, and it has good character story development, but the overall arc of the whole episode, I was just kind of bored by the end. It's interesting to note that this is James Cromwell's third appearance in Star Trek. We saw him as a prime minister that's basically humanoid in The Next Generation. We saw him on Deep Space Nine, but the Next Generation episode of the Birthright, I think it was, where he's the one that tells Worf that his father's still alive. And then now we've seen him in this one. And then we'll go on later to see him as Zefram Cochrane a couple of times throughout Star Trek. So that's kind of cool. This is now his third appearance. So, I don't know, maybe I just missed a big step. But for the most part, this whole episode boils down to the Defiant is in a nebula where they can't see and they can't really do anything and they can't really move. And there's a Jem'Hadar ship that's also in this nebula in the same boat. And it's about the two of them basically playing like a war game with each other where they're both trying to just randomly fire and hit each other, but they both keep missing. And like I said, it's very character developed, driving, whatever, where Sisko is very badly injured and he's with Kira and she's trying to talk to him about how he's the emissary and he's not allowed to die. And then we see O'Brien and Worf in the engine room, and they're both trying to like figure out how to get the engines up and running, while at the same time defend ourselves from the Jem'Hadar. And we kind of see Worf starting to struggle with being in command. Which, I mean, this is the 6th episode into the season, and Worf is still kind of struggling in his new position, so it's interesting. And O'Brien, who's like the man of the crew, he's the one that we're supposed to relate with, is basically like, dude, you need to calm down. These guys know what they're doing. Just let them go. And then, of course, Bashir and Dax are locked in a room together, freezing to death, and Bashir is basically like, I used to have a crush on you, and Dax is like, no way. So, I mean, overall, it's an interesting episode to watch these characters in these positions, but the overall episode itself just didn't do it for me. I just didn't dig it. So, and of course, we get to the end and everybody's rescued and they go off. So this kind of felt like a Next Generation or an original series episode for me. Like it just didn't, I knew everything was going to work out by the time we got to the end. So, and that's not what I want from Deep Space Nine, because there are episodes of Deep Space Nine where you're like, oh, everything will be fine. And then it's not, and something big changes. So, for those who have seen this one, did you guys like this? Did this episode wow you and I just missed some big part of it? Go ahead, let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for everything. I will see you next time for The Little Green Men.